And we are back. And look who we have with us. Michigan's own Scott Steiner.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing great. You're from?
I was born in Bay City, and then of course I went to U of M.
Awesome. Awesome. We love U of M. And so you started in the business. Did you start with your brother?
No, I actually started with Dick the Bruiser right out of college. He was a trip, you know, because remember, he used to always be on the riff, you know what I mean? But actually, truth be known, that was an impersonator.
Right, that was George Baer, because I used to do a little work with the guys on riff. Yeah, hey Jim, it's a hotline.
Right, it's because I asked him, because I remember him always be on when I was in college. I always used to hear his voice, you know, so it was pretty cool meeting him. You know, I used to tell me stories about when he, back in the day, you know. Yeah, he was a good guy, though, you know.
Yep. George Baer did him on there with JJ in the morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. So did you go to school at the same time as your brother?
Well, my brother's 2 years older.
Yeah.
So we were in college at the same time. So he was just 2 years ahead, graduated 2 years after me, before me.
Awesome. And how's he doing?
He's doing good. He's doing real estate right now at Georgia.
Very cool. And that's where you live now too, right?
Right.
So I want to talk.
Weather's a lot nicer than Michigan, you know.
You got that right. We had a couple rough ones too.
Oh yeah. Well, I still have family up in Bay City, you know. My dad had, you know, 11 brothers, 3 sisters, so got a lot of uncles, a lot of cousins, you know.
So the fights. That's where you guys learned to fight. The fights in them. They had to fight for every meal, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to talk to you about a couple of the moves you invented. Now, the first time I saw the Frankensteiner, my mind blew up.
Yeah, that was actually a move I thought of like a year before, and then I waited till I got to WCW, well, NWA, and that was WCW. Yeah, and then just busted it out, and people loved it, and probably one of the most copied moves now that, you know, in wrestling right now, you know. So
it really is. Can you explain a little bit what happens during that move?
Oh, just jump up and pray the guy, you know, keeps running. Comes off those ropes right, you know.
That was so cool. And then you had, well, talk about some other moves. I know of one right now.
Well, you know, when I went to Michigan, you know, Steve Fraser was the first Olympic champion from the United States, a gold medalist in Greco-Roman. So, of course, when I came in as a freshman, who was his throwing dummy, you know what I mean? So I had to work out with him all the time, you know. There's a big difference being a freshman and a guy who already graduated from college and training for Olympics. That's just another level, you know. And then, so I learned a lot of the throws from him. And then my brother and I just tried to incorporate those wrestling throws into professional wrestling, which nobody was doing. Then, of course, we did stuff off the top rope, which nobody was doing. Yep. And then we just try to make wrestling exciting, you know.
You did it.
Not only for the fans, you know, I was trying to, you know, stimulate my own mind.
Well, you did it, and you're multi-time champs, right?
Yeah, both pretty much everywhere around the world, in Japan also, you know.
Very cool. Now, do you have anything coming up that you want to promote? I think you have something in June coming up.
Yeah, June 7th. It's in Met Stadium. You know, in
Hulk Hogan.
New York. If you're going to do something, might as well do it in New York because that's big. You know, you got Madison Square Garden, you got the Yankees, and you got the Mets. So June 7th is Met Stadium, and actually I'm going to have an open challenge to Hulk Hogan. You know, he's a little bitch. So I'm going to challenge him. You know, his biggest claim to fame was slamming Andre the Giant. I'm putting up my own money, $1 million, my own money. He can't slam me.
Is slamming Andre
Yeah, $1 million. He don't have to he doesn't have to slam. He doesn't have to beat me. He just has to slam me. But the problem being, you got to get in the ring with me. And he's a scared little punk. So challenge it out there. We'll see what happens.
Very cool, very cool. So, is there some history between you two?
No, I think it's well known. He's a little, you know, and I didn't appreciate it. And I don't think a lot of other people appreciated him inducting Macho Man into Hall of Fame because, Macho Man hated him, and so did Ultimate Warrior, and he tried to play it off like they were friends. He was saying he's good friends with him. That was a bunch of bullshit, I mean, I guarantee you Macho Man was turning in his grave,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I didn't appreciate that, because I used to ride with him, Macho Man, in '93 when I first went up to WWF, so I know firsthand,
Right.
So,
Right. So you.
actually, I was in Meadowlands, and Macho Man said, "Hey, one of these days when the time's right, I'm gonna beat his ass," And it just so happened that in the Meadowlands, the locker rooms are in the back, where they have connecting doors in the back. He came up, Hogan came around the corner, Macho Man dropped his bags. What'd Hogan do? Tail went between his legs, walked off like a little that he is. So I know Macho Man, to the day he died, he hated him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for him to induct him,
Exactly.
it was unrighteous, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So $1 million of your own money. That's awesome.
if he can slam me,
That's awesome.
he don't have to beat me. He can slam me. Problem being, him being a little, he'll be too scared to get in the ring. But the challenge is out there. He don't get no bigger than New York, Met Stadium. So we'll see what happens.
Very cool. Very cool. Sounds like a lot of fun.
It'll be fun for me. I guarantee it. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so you and I are both pretty close to U of M. We love it. And then, so are you happy about the Jim Harbaugh hire?
Well, me and Jim, we were in college at the same time. So, actually when I wrestled in Chicago, when he played for the Bears, him and his running back was Brad Muster. He used to come and watch us in Chicago. So I've known Jimmy for a long time, man. He turned around Stanford, turned around the 49ers, so I'm sure he's going to turn you around U of M,
I hope. Yeah, we need it. We do need it. Now, would you have come back for a little chunk of that money to maybe wrestle or coach the wrestling team?
Coach, I would have been happy with half. No, but that's the way coaching is right now. That's the top coaches get paid that, and he's one of them. So I'm happy for him. And I'm happy that Michigan finally got him.
You bet.
So.
You bet. Do you have anything else you want to promote? Anything else you want to say? You want to tell anybody else out there? Anything?
Yeah, June 7th. Go to Met Stadium. Watch me beat up Hogan if he's not scared.